Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Temporal Enigma, and today I'm going to be coming to you with something that's a little different. This is a custom zombies idea for a map. In, quote, Black Ops 3, the community standing title for the next Treyarch game, as we're all just kind of being like, we don't know what it's going to be, so we'll call it, quote, Black Ops 3. Really hope it's not a Black Ops 3. Anyway, I would like to say that this is kind of a spin-off of something Boop did from Play the Game. I will try to find that video and link it in the description. And it is basically the idea of an Apocalypse-style map. So, out in the... it would take place in, like, Rome, around biblical times. And it would be, you'd have, like... The Colosseum would probably be a section of the map, and like you'd see the roadways and buildings and all sorts of stuff, and it would play pretty regular. I mean, you'd have guns and stuff, cause obviously, and it would be the regular guns start off. You'd start off somewhere like I think a good place to start would be the Colosseum, and you wouldn't be actually able to get up onto the like the inner stadium of the Colosseum. You would start off and it would be destroyed, so it wouldn't be like this huge open area. It'd be kind of like rubble everywhere, because a big apocalypse has happened. It's something devastating, and you're led to assume it's a zombie apocalypse that happened here. But you really don't know what happened. Buildings are torn down, really the whole run-down feel that we really didn't see in Black Ops 2. With the exception of Die Rise. I mean, you did kind of get the sense in, like, Transit and, like, those survival maps, but they were, like, minimal. With the exception of, like, the lava and stuff, it was kind of minimal, but Die Rise is the only thing that really brought an apocalyptic feel to it, with the one building that's actually flipped upside down, because it fell over and collapsed upside down and stuff like that. This is totally destroyed. You're running across planks of wood all the time. There's even like some places that will collapse upon running over them. Possibly even things you could rebuild to make another pathway. But you'd start in the middle, you'd have your two basic weapons, hopefully not the M14 and the Olympia, something completely different. Something just new to the era. Like not even if those were the basic guns in the game, it wouldn't be that, it would be something else. And you'd start off and you'd have to make your way out of the Colosseum. The Colosseum is the area you don't want to be in. Basically, you go down the tunnel and you leave. And you'd enter the street. And the street would also be destroyed. There'd be wagon carts everywhere. There would probably be, probably some dead animals. Real gruesome stuff. All the way to probably a palace of some sort. And what you would see along the town streets, there'd be aqueducts running. And one of the things you could do is climb up into the aqueduct and slide it, like the slide in Shangri-La, and all sorts of stuff like that. But you could come, at the end of the map would be a palace. Sort of like the church in Origins, kind of off to the side, except not as off to the side, like not like one way, like it would connect. And when you entered the hall, there'd be a feast of rotting food laid out, as if they were torn from the middle of a meal, almost. And, it's a basic idea, but expand upon that. There'd be traps like, I hadn't thought this out all the way, so I'm kind of coming up with some of this stuff in my head right now. There'd be a couple types of traps. There would probably be a portcullis trap in front of the Colosseum, where a portcullis would drop down, or a stone slab or something would drop down as like a door on the area where the zombies are. There would probably be some kind of like stampede trap would be cool, where there's like an area where like near a slaughterhouse or something where animals were kept, and you could open a gate or something and all these animals would just charge out from one side to the other, and like they were escaping or something. And that trap could only be used like 2 or 3 times, and what it would do is it would just demolish any zombies in like this little, almost like a track area. But eventually, after a couple times, you'd actually run out of animals. And the slaughterhouse would be empty. So you could no longer use it. And here's the thing. Every couple rounds would be... They would spawn a special zombies called the Four Horsemen. And I mean the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. War, death, famine, and pestilence. And pestilence is disease, for those of you who don't know. Excuse me, still sick. And the thing is, there would only be one per player, so if there's 3 players, there would only be 3 of the riders. And it would be a different rider each time. So, like, for example, you're playing by yourself, round 7 hits, and the war appears. Round 13, it's death. You know, a different horseman. And what they mostly do is ride around the outside of the map, places you can't get to. But they're very distinct. Death is cloaked in a black robe on a black fiery horse. War would be wearing battle armor with a huge sword, and he would have a red fiery horse. Famine would be almost a skeleton sitting on top of a yellowy, kind of, I'd say fiery also, horse. And then Pestilence would be some misshapen demon sitting on top of a greenish horse with just dust and flies around it. And just disease. And each of these horsemen would like kind of stand on the outside of the map and kind of stare at you. And every once in a while, they would ride across the map. And they would try to attack you. And each one would do a different type of attack. And they would stay until you killed them. And you could shoot them a lot, and then they'd eventually leave. You wouldn't kill them, they'd leave. Or you could pick up a special wonder weapon that would banish them. Kind of like the Vril, the upgraded Vril with George Romero, how you could make him leave for a couple rounds. And so each one would do something different. When death attacked you, you would lose 1 health. Now, what does that mean? If you have Jug, you have 4 essential hit points until you die. If you have Jug and death attacks you, you will lose 1 of those hit points, and you now only be 3 hits to be killed until you get rid of until death leaves. And the way that would work is if you had the Juggernog symbol and you got hit, the Juggernog symbol half of it would blank out and go dark. If he hit you again, you'd only have 2, and then the Juggernog symbol would turn off altogether. If he hit you again, you'd be at 1, and the screen, not so much blood red like when you're dying, because it's hard to see. Kind of like the edges of your screen would just flare red, so you knew you were 1 hit to death. And then once you banished him or got rid of him and he left, whatever your full health was would come back. Jug would turn back on for you and all that stuff. And then War, when he would attack you, he would either take the gun you're holding or take the ammo from your gun. I think, now that I think about it, I think it'd be cool if he'd hit you and he'd take some ammo, like a clip of ammo from you. Once you have 0 ammo and he hits you again, he actually takes your gun away. And then you're left with 1, kind of like the Pentagon Thief. I don't think it'd be fair if you weren't able to kill him and he kept attacking you and you kept losing the gun and then eventually you have no guns. You know, that really wouldn't be fair. You could get your gun back by killing him. And the thing is, I think it'd be better if they left, like after 2 rounds or something. And if you weren't able to kill him, he would just take his gun with you. Sort of, once again, like the Pentagon Thief. If you weren't able to kill him before he left, you would just lose your gun. So if death hit you, you'd, be injured. And then, I think, like I said, I'm just kind of coming up with this. So let me start over. If death leaves without you killing him, you lose that health for 1 round. So if you're down to 1 hit point for an entire round, you're stuck at a hit point till your health comes back. For War, you lose that gun forever because, death would be kind of cheap if you're just at 1 health for the rest of the game. You lose that gun forever unless you, earn it back in the box or something. Pestilence, when he would hit you, your screen would go something would happen to your screen. And either it would go blurry, like if a Banshee hit you from Shangri-La, or maybe the colors would invert, or I don't know, there'd be like the controls would invert, or it would flip upside down or something. And the upside down and inverted controls are like super rare ones. And you could turn off certain effects, like if you have a seizure, you know, you're not going to have like disco lighting happen. You know, that's bad. And once again, if you killed him, it would go away. And every time he hit you, the screen would change. Like, when they hit you, you get hurt. Like, oh, I got hit. But it would regenerate unless you got attacked by death. In which case, it would only regenerate up to whatever you have left. If he leaves, you're stuck with that screen for one round. I think with War, it's fair that you're stuck with a round without that gun, and then you're given it back, but it has no ammo in it. If you kill him, you have all the ammo. You actually have a max ammo left. Like, that's your reward. Famine would take points away from you. Killing him would reward all your points back. Once he left, after a round, you get half your points back. So, that's the idea. I think with Death, it should be every round you get 1 health boost back. And then with Pestilence, it's 1 round, every 1 round will revert back. Like, every time he hits you, it'll get, Pestilence hits you, it'll get worse. So, like, the first thing is, like, your screen goes blurry. Then after that, the colors invert. Like, it's not blurry anymore, but they're inverted colors. Then the controls are inverted. Then it's upside down. You know, and then you survive a round upside down, and then it's back to inverted controls, then it's back to, you know, like that. However many times he hits you. I know that was a little discombobulated. I hope you got the gist of it. And it would be targeted each player, so maybe me and my brother are playing, and the first round, War and Death appear. War is coming after me, and Death is coming after him. Next round, Pestilence and Death appear. Death is after me, Pestilence is after him. You know, and then their effects. Then there would be wonder weapons, 4 of them, each dedicated to a different guy. And you could still attack them even if they weren't coming after you. It's not like the Pentagon Thief where you can only see him. No, you can see them, and you really don't know who's coming after you until they do. And I really hadn't thought up wonder weapons. I was thinking maybe, like, the wonder weapons could still fit the era. So, like, the one against Famine could be, like, a slingshot that fires golden explosive apples or something ridiculous like that. Kind of fun, and then you'd have to hit him like a couple times with that, and then he'd go away. Maybe Death, or even so you could maybe even use their weapons. So like Death, you'd have a scythe, and the scythe could shoot like you could swing to attack like a melee attack, or you could even even shoot like rays of light or something that would kill. I don't know, but that's my kinda not so great explanation of a custom zombies map. I hope you guys enjoy. I left hopefully have the video in the description of the original one that I kind of based this off of. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.